Hello and welcome to another episode of Hessy and Maven. I'm Justin.
I'm Raven.
And on this week, we're doing Pokemon again.
Yeah. A little more than, what are we, a third of the way through?
Oh, we have to be a third of the way through. Yeah, close to half. I imagine. I mean, we're on ground and ice is this week's specialty types. So, just like always, we're going to be talking about our top 5 ground Pokemon and our top 5 ice Pokemon.
Ground was hard.
Ground was very hard. And we have this kind of unspoken rule. The idea is that it has to be, like, you can't put a Pokemon for 2 different lists. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I picked Flygon for Dragon, and Flygon is a Dragon ground type. I wasn't allowed to pick Flygon for my ground list, and that was hard because I love Flygon. You gotta love his little bug eyes. I also love that they're like lenses, and then his eyes are underneath that because he's always in sandstorms and stuff. But anyway, can't pick him. So here we are doing Pokemon again.
Yep.
And we apologize for this episode coming out a little later. Raven was feeling a little under the weather. It just made a lot more sense to push it just one day.
Yeah.
For the sake
still
of,
a little bit sickly, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna power through.
We're gonna power through. And Raven has work this morning, so we're gonna speed through this while also providing the same level of entertainment that you come here for. Jessica, stop being an absolute rapskillion.
Yep.
She is full zoomies this morning. Mm-hmm. Just going at it. She loves that box. I refuse to get rid of it.
Good.
I see I cut little holes in it. Mm-hmm. She loves it so much.
It's cute.
I know. Although my blinds are broken, it is distracting as hell. You mentioned it the other week.
It is.
I don't know if you mentioned it on mic, but yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I tried. I don't know what to do. I hate them. Anyway.
Okay.
So, any like housekeeping news or anything really quickly? Do you have anything to offer? I know Mother's Day is coming up. We have big plans. We have fun ideas.
Yeah.
I would really love to do an episode with Mom. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to put her in a fucking headlock to get her to do it, but I really want to do that.
No, I don't think I have anything. The only thing I thought about this morning was that I'm having a new reoccurring dream.
Oh.
Which is weird, because I've only really had one reoccurring dream in my whole life, but this one I've had multiple times. I know it. I've written it down multiple times, where I'm lost in a really big mall.
Oh.
Like, I'm in a huge mall, and I can't find where the exit is.
Okay.
And I'm just, like, going from end to end, like, trying to find the mall and passing stores and, like, not seeing any exit doors or outside windows or anything. And it's unsettling. And in the dream
Weird.
I had last night where I was lost in the mall, I remember very clearly being stopped by Betsy Johnson. And
the designer?
The designer.
Okay.
And she stopped me and was like, I need you to go into my store. She was standing outside the Betsy Johnson store.
Yeah.
And get me some guy. And I was like, okay. And I, like, pulled the door open a little bit and was like, excuse me, Betsy is out here and she needs whoever. Mm-hmm. And they were like, no. And they closed the door in my face. And Betsy was yelling, you can't give up. Don't give up. If you want to get hired, you can't give up. And I had to tell her, I don't want to be hired here, Betsy. And then I had to move along because I still was trying to get out of the mall.
That's...
But that was my dream.
Crazy dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Anyway. I didn't even take any melatonin for that dream.
That's nuts. Yeah, the only news I have is that I have a new addition to my duck family, my bird family. His name is Waldo.
Oh my God. I love it.
I was so pumped about this. On the bottom, I'm still not 100% convinced, but it kind of has the feel of one of those lint brushes. Mm-hmm. And it does, like, some hair, like, connects with... Of course, this is the one moment I have, like, no cat hair on me. But, like, it does sort of work, so I think that is what it is. So I had gotten it, and I was playing D&D this past weekend, and I was playing with a group of women for one of my games, where it's all women, and obviously except for myself, but non-binary, so no men allowed. And I was like, oh, my sister got me this cool new duck that I added to my collection. I named him Waldo. It's like this cool blue and blackish little duck guy, and I sent a picture of it to the group Discord thing, and Allie just goes, "Oh yeah, we have one of those." Excuse me? She's like, "Yeah, we have one of those. I have one of those. It's like a lip brush on the bottom." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God.
What are the chances?"
Yeah.
Also, how dare you steal my thunder?
Wow. I can't believe that
My
she has
thunder
one.
was stolen. But yeah, it was really great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw it. You had to have it.
I did have to have it. I now have 3 ducks and several other birds of various feathers.
Yeah. They're all good.
My bird whistle from Peru, I'm especially
Owl.
happy with.
Yeah.
And the owl from Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And then the teensiest owl is still downstairs.
Yeah.
I do need to check for it because
It's been a minute.
now that Jessica has reign of the house,
yeah.
anything and everything is fair game.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So let's get into it. So we're going to do ground Pokemon. Now, ground Pokemon is an interesting thing in my brain a little bit just because I am not sure why they decided to make such a distinction between rock and ground. Like, I would love to be a fly on the wall in these Pokemon meetings, like when they talk about stuff like this. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. It's so interesting to me. I'm just very interested by all of the
In my head, when
decisions
when I think about it, I think of ground Pokemon as like dirt, and I think of rock Pokemon as like mountain.
No, now that they're 2 different types, you can make the distinction.
That's how
Yeah, it's dirt versus rocks.
I mean, yeah.
2 different sort of. I get it. Whatever.
But rocks are on the ground, so
Yeah, and like, what is dirt but broken up rocks? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just like it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're doing ground type now. What do you want to start? I'm like thinking of something to say, and I can't think of anything. So if you want to start, please go for it. Okay.
My number 5 is Sandile.
Oh.
I think Sandile's so cute. He's so small. He's one of those Pokemon that when you're like running around the desert in Scarlet and Violet, you kind of just bump into him because he's so small. He's 0.7 meters, which I don't know. Oh, 2 feet 4 inches.
Very small.
He's just like a little baby crocodile.
Look at him.
He's the desert croc Pokemon. In Japanese, it's Megaroko.
Megaroko.
He's ground and dark.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do like him. I like all crocodile Pokemon because of Mr. Irwin.
Oh my god, I know.
Did you think about that?
No, I didn't. I love Steve Irwin.
I kind of was like, whatever about, not specifically Sandile, but like this evolution chain. Like I was like, whatever. Like when it grows up and for some reason turns red, I was like, okay. Like whatever.
Yeah.
And then I decided, I saw somebody on TikTok who was like, if Steve Irwin had a team of Pokemon, here's what they would be. And I was like, I'm going to do that in the game. But I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to use the one that these person came up with. I'm also limited to what Pokemon are available in the game. Cool. So, Sandile, amazing. Fun. For my number 5, I did Zygarde. So Zygarde is like a legendary Pokemon. I didn't even know that they existed until that like expansion pack, Crown of Isle, where you can go into the little cave. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And people who played, Sword and Shield, who did the expansion pack, you'll also know what I'm talking about. You can catch Lugia and all the other legendaries, or at least most of them. Zygarde is just cool. I like the color scheme. I like the green and black. I like the fact that when it gets down to a certain amount of like health, it becomes the complete form. It looks totally different. I like that it looks very alien and also a little like advanced. Like it doesn't necessarily look like a computer, but because of the hexagon shapes, it looks pixely and like, I don't know. I jive with it. And I think it's also a dragon type, which is bananas to me. I feel like they just threw that in there. But anyway, Zygarde is my number 5.
I feel like that sometimes.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Toadschool.
Oh, I love Toadschool.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that the Pokemon creators just took an already existing Pokemon, changed the colors, and made it a totally different Pokemon. I think it's cute that it's the woodier Pokemon, which I feel like is probably a type of mushroom. I really don't know.
I think it is.
And I just think it's so cute. It looks cute. It looks cute when it runs. I think using mushrooms to make Pokemon is cute. Like, they could probably do it multiple times because there's different types of mushrooms.
Yeah. They've definitely done it. I mean, there's Parasect, and then there's like Fungus and Amoongus, who I don't like. I don't like
the
that they made.
The names are funny though.
The names make me laugh.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that Incubus album, Fungus Among Us.
Right.
Which is, man, I mean, it is psychedelic. I tried to listen to it because I was like, I really like Incubus. I like the song Drive, which is like that.
It's the only song by Incubus I know,
song.
yeah.
For a lot of people, probably.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this was during the time of like LimeWire where you would download things illegally. And I downloaded that album because it was like one of their first albums.
Yeah.
Trippy, man. It's like very like psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
But yeah, Toadschool.
Toadschool is a great pick. I wish the color was different.
I know.
When you see it on the map because of how the new Pokemon games are, where you like see the Pokemon in the wild, man, when it runs, it is fucking adorable.
I know, it's really cute.
I love it so much. I also like that they made it a completely different type as opposed to making it
like the Alolan
Tentacool but Galarian form or something. Like, it's interesting. It is also interesting that in the little bio when I was reading about it before, it says that there's no biological connection between the two.
Yeah.
That they just look similar, which that feels probably like weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, I guess, because like there are things like that in real life where there are two animals that look very similar and you actually find out that like genetically they are not.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I forget the word for that. I remember learning that in those were some of my favorite classes in college. Those like bio classes, those like high level bio classes where you learn about
stuff like that,
and like the different types of differentiation that happen in evolution trees and stuff. But anyway, Toadschool, great pick. I'm like scared to switch pages now. My number 4 is Torterra, the final evolution of Turtwig.
Bulky.
Turtwig. He is bulky. He's a big boy.
Big boy.
He's like 7 feet, 650 pounds or something like that. I really do like him a lot. He's always been on my radar. I love, he's like, I think at least he's sort of based on like a particular dinosaur that I really like, which maybe we'll do a top 5 dinosaurs. I know that your dinosaurs may not be your thing. In terms of an indifference. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be really curious to see what you come up with. Because they're not your thing, you're going to come up with ones that you're going to be like, so there was once this one dinosaur, and it'll be like, Velociraptor,
Yep.
and it'll be like something we've never heard of.
You're 100% correct.
Whereas I'm going to be like, Triceratops.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love Torterra. I think it's based on an Ankylosaurus. It looks very similar if you Google an Ankylosaurus. But anyway, I like that it has a little tree on its back. I like that it's like just big and hefty. Hefty. That's what it makes me think of. And I liked seeing it in like, it's the same as like you see it in the anime.
Yeah.
And you feel differently about a Pokemon.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's the same with Pokemon Snap for me. Like seeing it like in the wild, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes, quote unquote, in the wild. Like, it's so cool seeing it like react and hang out with other Pokemon and stuff. Like, there's a Score Bunny that hangs around a I think it's either a Grookey or a Pikachu, and they like run. They're like chasing each other. It's like super fucking cute.
So cute.
There's so many like little examples of that, of like Pokemon hanging out, or like a scary Pokemon scaring a little cute Pokemon, and you're like, oh, and you like get to take pictures of it. It's a fucking cool ass game. I really do love it.
That's cute.
The nostalgia wore off quicker than I would have liked, so I stopped playing it. Plus, it's annoying to have to go through the same course over and over and over again trying to find everything, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, that's my number 4.
Cute.
Torterra. What's your number 3?
Sandslash.
Oh, sick. Glad.
Sandslash, I like a lot, especially in the show. This is weirdly a Pokemon I've never had in any of the games that I've played.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been around, I guess, or like...
You can get it in Sword and Shield with the expansion packs.
Okay. But I think it's so cute. It's known as the mouse Pokemon, which I think is weird because it doesn't look like a mouse.
No, it looks like an echidna.
Yeah.
Or a mole, or a type of... well, it's got those spiny shells, so more like an echidna.
It's cute.
Or an armadillo.
Yeah. It's cute in Alola. It becomes ice. It's like a big...
That was one of the Alolans that I was supportive of.
Yeah.
I was down with that one. I was like, that's cool.
I think it's pretty cute. It's about 3 feet tall, 65 pounds.
Yeah. Sandslash is cool.
I like Sandslash and I like Sandshrew.
Sandshrew also cool. It makes me think of that episode where in the first season where Ash comes across that one kid who like trains his Pokemon really hard.
Yeah.
And he just randomly tackles him into the pool.
Yeah.
And he's like, leave him alone.
I know.
He tackles him into the pool and he's like, I forget what he doesn't he have like a southern accent?
Yeah.
Me and my Sandshrew.
Yeah.
We're gonna be the best.
That episode's weird because in the beginning you hate that kid because like all his Pokemon are exhausted. He's like screaming at them to do better.
He's like whipping them.
Yeah, he's like whipping them. And then at the end, like he's like, yeah, I whipped them and they're exhausted and I'm forcing them to just go more, but they love me and I love them. And then like the Pokemon like want to be with him and like hug him at the end. And you're like, That's how I felt after watching that episode. Yeah. But loves Sandslash.
That's how I feel about a lot of shows. A lot of shows you'll love, and then every once in a while they'll do one thing where you're like, what?
Where you just want to go,
I was watching Demon Slayer, and I fucking love it so much. I just finished. On Netflix, they call it Season 3. After doing a little research, technically, Season 2 is split into 2 things, but Netflix calls it 2 and 3, where really it's like 2A and 2B. Not important. Okay. And they're introduced this one character who's a high-level demon slayer. He's called a Hashira. So that's the highest rank you can be. So they're the strongest, right? And he's got 3 wives. I don't care about that. If your path in life is polygamy, by all means. Like it doesn't fucking affect me, so go for it. Or polyamory or polygamy. I don't fucking care. The thing that annoyed me was that all of them, the husband and the 3 wives, all trained to be shinobu or shinobi. No, shinobi, I think, which is like ninjas, for lack of a better term. And there's like a flashback from one of the women being like, I knew I would never be as strong as the men. So the least I could do was give it my all. And I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really
it's
love
like
that.
little lines where you're like...
You're like, listen... It takes place in like old school Japan, so it's like I guess I can understand that there's some gender norms.
Yeah.
And I wish that simple shit like that, because it's not like that big of a deal. It's in a cartoon where demons exist and you fight them.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't matter that much. I wish that a tiny line like that didn't just like trigger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
I get it.
I hate being like socially aware sometimes.
Also, Sandslash in Japanese is Sandpan.
Sandpan?
So, yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, Sandslash. Number 3.
Sandslash is a really good number 3. My number 3 goes back to the original Red and Blue games because it was, I think, the first ground Pokemon that you could really catch. And if you look around hard enough, you could get the evolved form, and it would be like easily 10 levels above all your other Pokemon. Like, you would have to, like, kill all your Pokemon just to be able to catch it. And at the time that you can catch it, you're about to go against the Lieutenant Surge, the electric gym leader. So it's, like, perfect timing because you're like, oh, sick. Now I have a Pokemon who can do Dig and, like, Earthquake and stuff. Maybe not Earthquake. But, and anyway, all of that is to say, my number 3 is Dugtrio.
Love Dugtrio.
I almost picked Diglett because I think Diglett is super cute. But Dugtrio is just 3 of them, really. And I don't fully understand the biology of any of Pokemon when it comes to stuff like that. But I don't care. And I love it. And the people on TikTok who do the 3D printing of, like, where you see the heads and then, like, underneath is just, like, 3 incredibly masculine bodies, like, all holding each other.
God,
Have you ever seen those?
Yes, so funny.
But yeah, I just love Dugtrio. I think he's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Dugtrio's funny. It reminds me of the Thumb movies.
Yes.
Thumbtanic.
Yeah, Thumb Wars.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Theoto. Makes me think of Theoto. Shout out Theoto if you're listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like Dugtrio is so much fun to me. And also, I really enjoy the Alolan form of Dugtrio. The one of Diglett I could save for another day because it just has those weird little hairs on its head.
Yes.
I think it's weird that they just decided, hey, we're going to make it ground in steel. And how should we make it look different? I don't know. Give them different haircuts. Fucking insane to me.
Give them haircuts. Give them hair with haircuts.
Give them hair with different styles. One of them will have a bob. The other, long wavy hair. The other, a bowl cut. Like, what? Why?
They're like, hilarious.
I'm sorry. What part of steel type don't you understand?
It is so funny.
So Dugtrio. Because I think he's just a fun little classic Pokemon that I enjoy.
Yeah. I love it.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
My number 2 is Nidoqueen.
Oh, Nidoqueen. Very cool. I like... Yeah, I had to scroll down to the very bottom to find that she was on the list. I always forget that her and her counterpart are ground types. I always forget that.
Love Nidoqueen. Evolves from Nidorina when exposed to a Moonstone. It is related to the female Nidoran line, but unlike male Nidoran, Nidoqueen cannot breed.
Wow.
Which I think is fascinating because she's an independent woman not having kids.
Yeah, she don't need no man.
Yeah, she don't need no man. She don't need no kids.
There you go.
So cute.
Does that mean that Nidokings are just like fucking and creating babies?
I don't know, because then also it literally says Nidoqueen cannot breed, but then in the next paragraph says Nidoqueen can be quite fierce and very protective of its young.
Maybe it's more of an adopting type.
Maybe
it's more like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And less Joanna Gaines.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Wow. I do love Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is fun. Giovanni had one in the original game. He's got both. He's got a queen and a king.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just excuse me. I just love Nidoqueen. I love that it's called Queen. Nidoqueen, like amazing.
Slay.
The drill Pokemon. And it's only 4 feet tall, which I thought it would be taller.
That is wild.
Yeah.
You saying that makes me want to be like, I don't think that's real.
It says 4 feet 3 inches, 132 pounds.
It's 5 feet at least.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Crazy. But I think she's so cute. I would love to have one.
Yeah, and I like the shade of blue.
Yeah.
I like the shade of blue. Wow. Okay, cool. That's awesome. And also poison type, which is, you know me, my favorite type.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love that. That's so good. Wow, Nidoqueen.
Your number 2?
Oh, sorry. I was getting lost in Nidoqueen.
That's fine.
Thinking. My number 2 was first, as far as I know, first introduced in the very beginnings of the Pokemon movie that we saw in theaters.
Uh-huh.
Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Okay.
It is called Donphan.
Oh my god.
I love Donphan. I could never get one in the original game. Well, Red and Blue wasn't in that game. It only came out in Silver and Gold.
Yeah.
And I only played Silver or Gold, whichever. I think I had a Gold. And I only played that for a little bit before eventually giving up for one reason or another. I don't know. I think because I was a brat. And it wasn't just like Red and Blue. So I was just like, this isn't the same.
Yeah.
Just getting annoyed and having a Dunsparce. And
oh
then
my god, I hate
finding out it
Dunsparce.
didn't evolve and being furious. Anyway. Yeah, I just love Donphan. Phanpy is super cute. But Donphan, I mean, he's like a small, tough elephant. Are you going to blow your nose? Guys, let me introduce to you Satchmo. Thank you so much, Satchmo. She'll be out here all week, and that was
okay.
That was Saturday in July in E minor. Thank you so much. Anyway, yeah, I love Donphan. I think he's fucking cool. I like that he rolls up into a wheel, kind of. I thought that, like, seeing that in the Pokemon movie. Granted, Ash kicks his ass in like 5 seconds, like with his baby Pokemon, which is, I mean, I get that they're super strong, but like, there's no fucking reason they shouldn't have evolved. That drove me nuts as a kid, and it still drives me nuts as a grown ass. That he
always has baby Pokemon. I know.
Anyway, he should have a Blastoise and a Venusaur.
I know. I know.
So stupid. Yeah, Donphan. I fucking love him. He's got tusks. He looks cool. They introduced the 2 different forms of him, I think, like in Scarlet and Violet. Like the...
Oh, yeah.
The... Whatever they're called. I forget. The dynamic forms or whatever the fuck. One's from the past. One's from the, like, Iron Tusk. And then you have the other one, whatever. Pretty cool. But, yeah, I love Donphan. I think he's fucking cool. I've never really gotten to have one and like really use it until Sword and Shield, or not Sword and Shield, excuse me, until Scarlet and Violet, and I used it almost for the entire game. Yeah, got it up to a level 100.
Very good.
And it would just and it's only ground type.
Oh,
like it's not like a dual type or anything, which like for those raid battles can come in handy.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about like a secret thing where they're like, oh, I'm going to use a fairy move. And you're like, fuck, he's also dragon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like sometimes dual typing is so cool. And sometimes it like defensively, it fucking sucks sometimes. Because now you're just weak to more things sometimes.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway. Donphan. I love him.
Cute. My number one.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Alolan Dugtrio. It's amazing. So cute. Like they literally made it from Dugtrio into like a girl band. The one in the back has super long wavy hair.
That's so funny.
The one in the front has like curly and chin hair. Like very curly bob. And then the one in the middle has an aggressive bob.
Yeah.
Like one of those bobs that would be like here, like at your ears. Bowl cut. It's so funny. It's the funniest thing Pokemon ever did.
It's so silly to me.
I love it.
But in a good way.
I love it.
Yeah. It is fun.
It's so random. When I first saw those, I was like, oh my god.
What?
They gave Dugtrio hair.
Yeah.
And not only that, they gave each of them different hair.
I know.
And it's blonde.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, looking at this picture is hilarious.
It is very good.
Yeah, I love it. They just look like hot dogs with hair. Yeah.
And we'll never know what their bodies look like.
No.
It's so interesting.
It's so funny.
Even in some of the games, like, like in Pokemon Stadium and stuff like that, like there are certain moves, or in any of the Pokemon games for that matter, there are moves that like pick a Pokemon up.
Yeah.
And what will happen with Diglett and Dugtrio is like an entire mound of dirt will get picked up along with it. So it's always semi-submerged. So it just remains this incredible mystery that I love.
It's so funny. The mole Pokemon.
Dugtrio.
The mole Pokemon.
Diglett.
Yeah,
Dugtrio.
that's my number one.
So fun. I love that for you. And my number one, sticking with Gen 1, is Golem.
I know you love Golem.
I love Golem so fucking much. And also just because he was so like unattainable.
Golem, I feel like, is very rare.
You had to trade.
Yeah.
You have to trade a Graveler in order to fucking get him. And unless you had friends, fancy, you couldn't get one. And it was so annoying. So instead, I just had a Graveler, a Machoke, a fucking Kadabra, like all this bullshit. I was so fucking mad because you could never finish the Pokedex. You could never, like, it drove me nuts. It's like, I hate trading Pokemon trades or evolution. Trading as an evolution scheme is fucking mean.
I know. I also don't like it.
It's also just annoying in general to be like, hey, complete your Pokedex. Pick one starter, and then you'll never get the other starters.
I know.
Unless you trade. And it's like, go fuck yourself, man. Like, that's so annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Nowadays, it's less annoying just because of the internet and being able to online trade. But imagine being a kid at the time. The only way to trade was to have the specific cable and to sit with somebody and plug your Game Boys into each other and do it that way. That was the only way to trade.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
that's really annoying.
I used to trade with myself because I would steal your Game Boy and put red in one and blue in the other, and that was the only fucking way you could do it. But anyway, I love Golem. I think he looks so fucking cool. He's just a big ball of rock. He's just that's a nice boulder.
That's a nice boulder.
That is a nice boulder. And I love him, and I think he's fucking cool. He has kind of like a reptilian face. You know, like it feels a little bit like a interesting departure from Geodude, fully a rock with just arms.
Yep.
Which is honestly fun. Arms. I like Geodude.
So funny.
And his name was always funny to me.
Geodude.
And yeah, his dude in the title is just like funny. And then Graveler, and I was like into Graveler ever since that episode where Misty fights that mean girl at the academy. And uses a water Pokemon, and Graveler just spins, and spins so fast the water just bounces off. And she's like, "You thought." Anyway.
Yes.
And then Golem is just fucking tough. He just seems cool and tough. Yeah. And I was just like fucking into him.
I love it.
He's one of those weird Pokemon that learn like explosion and stuff too, which can be a strategic move, but it feels very defeatist, and I never use it. Anyway. Golem is my number one for ground types. Those were good lists. Let me just really quickly try and write down what your number one was. Please excuse us and the coughing. Raven is sickly. Ready to move on to ice?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to start this one?
Yes.
Okay. Ice Pokemon. Now, here's an interesting thing is Ice Pokemon in the original game, Red and Blue, did not exist. However, there were ice moves. So I don't know exactly how this works. Like, there was Ice Beam in the original Red and Blue. There was Cloyster and a lot of, like, ice Pokemon, sort of. But I don't remember ice being, like, a type of Pokemon. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I need to play through it again and really pay attention to it, because you had, I don't know, anyway, not important, just a little Pokemon history for you. My number 5 is Beartic.
Interesting.
I don't know how to say it really.
Okay.
Beartic, yeah, the polar bear kind of guy. I'm afraid to look up anything and not be on my screen, so it's killing me, because normally I have all the pages and everything, but I don't want the recording to stop again, and if it does, I want to know right away. Cool. So yeah, Beartic. And here's the interesting thing, because this is usually not the case. I hate Cubchoo.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the evolution of Cubchoo, right?
It is the evolution of Cubchoo.
Yeah, I also hate Cubchoo.
I hate Cubchoo for one reason only. Big
it's
snot booger.
That's why I hate it.
Big snot booger. Get the fuck away from me.
I don't want anything with a snot.
Sick little kids.
Yeah.
No, get the fuck away from me.
I hate it.
Absolutely not. Put a mask on.
Yep.
Ugh. It's things like that, and I'm being really insensitive to some people, I imagine. I almost like miss quarantine. Like I miss people wearing masks and being away from me and like standing right fucking behind me in line.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. Yeah.
I know.
I also was making so much money on unemployment. Oh my God.
I know. It's great.
I made more money than I did at my job.
I did too.
And then they were like, hey, go back to your job. And you were like, no, actually, no, I hate it.
Yeah.
Now that I know, now I hate it.
I know.
I already disliked it, but now I hate it.
I know.
Fuck you, British Swim School. Anyway. Yeah, Beartick. I like him. He grows up big. He grows up strong. He's a gigantic polar bear that has like a beard of icicles, kind of. And I had one and I named him Dairy King because he was a boy.
Cool.
If it was a girl, I would have named him Dairy Queen. But
very cute.
Yeah. Not that he has anything to do with dairy, but you know, obviously ice cream, ice. There you go. But
very good.
He's I think 100% ice, and
yes.
I thought he was fucking cool.
This paragraph says he's known as the Snow White Demon.
Oh, I'm in.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love
Reminds
that.
me of kinfolk.
It is kinfolk.
Cool. So yeah, that's my number 5.
My number 5 is Cloyster.
Cloyster? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. I love Cloyster. I love
I.
that he has consistent mean face.
Mm.
Or like...
Allie refers to it as RBF, which...
Yeah, it is RBF.
Every time she says that, I have to, in my brain, just be like, resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But it's like resting mischievous face.
Yes.
Because it's not just like heavy eyebrows. It's like heavy eyebrows with a smile. He's known as the bivalve Pokemon because it's a bivalve mollusk.
Yes.
It's the evolved form of Shelder.
Shelder is so fucking cute too.
Shelder is really cute. This is a classic evolution where it goes from cute to badass.
Big time.
It is rarely found in the wild.
I actually really do love Cloyster so much.
I love Cloyster. It says they actively hunt for slowpoke tails, and Kingler is a natural predator of Cloyster.
Ooh, because of the big ass.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
Yeah,
son.
I just love Cloyster.
Damn.
Parshen in Japanese.
I love that. Have you heard of the rumor about Cloyster?
No.
If you look at Cloyster and the little ball face, think of Ghastly.
Oh.
Just an interesting theory.
Very they're next to each other in the Pokedex also.
Oh.
Cloyster is 91, Ghastly is 92.
Interesting. Anyway, Cloyster is a great choice. I'm surprised it's number 5 on your list.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see where we go from here. My number 4 is a Pokemon that I found in the expansion pack of Sword and Shield. Didn't fucking know that this Pokemon was a thing.
Okay.
It's like the first time I ever saw Lycanroc. And I was like, bro, there's a wolf? And then I caught it and was like, it's rock type? What the fuck is this? That's exactly how I felt about this Pokemon.
Okay.
This is the evolved form of a 2-stage kind of thing, Aurorus.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
Yeah.
It's like a Brontosaurus that has these gorgeous like frills on the sides of its neck. It is rock and ice. And in that game, I had a team because you can set up like battle teams or whatever. And I had a team called Dino Ladies. And it was a bunch of Pokemon who all either were like clearly dinosaur related or at least were close enough, like Lapras, where I was like, that could have been a Pokemon, like that could have been a dinosaur kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, I just fucking, it was so cool. I named it Littlefoot because it's
so cute.
Reminds me of Land Before Time.
Yeah.
The first evolution, I forget what it's called, but it does look very cute also.
Mora.
Just good. Just
Very
all
cute.
around good vibes. Like the color scheme is great. The frills are like this really pretty, like yellow orangey kind of thing. It's got a blue body. Like it just looks fucking cool, and I was really, really into it.
I love that pick.
Yeah,
It's a great pick.
Auroras.
Okay.
Fun. I remember as a kid, man, Aurora Beam, and being like, I just like saying it.
Yeah, it sounds
And then
great.
being a little bit bummed that it's less powerful than Ice Beam.
And it
like,
sounds like it should be more powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Ready for my number 4?
Mm-hmm.
Auroras.
The same one I just
Yeah.
picked. Oh.
Yep.
I was like, when I said it and you instantly were like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm surprised you know who that is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's just a beautiful Pokemon.
Isn't
All
it?
around. I would love to pull it out of my Pokeball for a battle.
Yeah.
People would be like in awe.
It looks so cool. Can you
Yeah.
look up how big it is?
It is 8 feet 10 inches.
Excuse us.
496 pounds.
Wow.
The Tundra Pokemon.
Big girl. I love her.
Auroras is usually quiet and kind.
She does look kind.
She does look
I
kind.
like her.
No,
Jojo,
Josie,
don't you
please.
dare. You son of a gun. Son of a beast.
Yeah.
Joe?
Number 4.
I swear to goodness. Josie. Josie, look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now. You will hush up. Okay. We're on number 3, right? My number 3, I was surprised, made a list, but in recent months, I've been using it a lot more in my re-playthrough of Scarlet and Violet. Joe, please, babe, please. Joe, please. I'm begging you. Glaceon.
The Fringe.
I've grown to love the Fringe because now it makes me laugh because
It's
we've
so funny.
mentioned it so many times.
Yeah.
Joe, please, I'm going to... The dogs, I swear to God, I should get paid every day for just being with them. Not even taking care of them, just being around them. Anyway, yeah, Glaceon. I've been using it a lot lately. I used it to take down the Elite Four.
Very good.
And Nessa, the La Primera, the champion in Scarlet and Violet. And I used a Glaceon and it kicked ass.
Nice.
And it makes its cute little little
Glaceon's
noise
so
that it
cute,
makes. Yeah. So yeah.
I love that. Glaceon's an excellent evolution.
Used to be my least favorite Eevee evolution. But it made the list,
I
whereas
don't know what my least favorite one is.
as much as I love Leafeon, I love all of them.
Maybe Vaporeon.
How
Is my least
fucking
favorite?
dare you?
I don't know. It's so hard to pick. They're all
It is
good.
hard to pick. But let's be clear. Least favorite Eevee evolution is still better than most other Pokemon.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, they're all amazing.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, my number 3 is Glaceon.
All right. My number 3 is Ice Cube.
Wow. Really?
It's a penguin
That's crazy.
with a large ice cube head
Yes.
and a little antenna hair thing. And it's got ice face and no ice face.
When I read that.
Did you read noise face?
Noise.
Because I also did. Yeah.
Yep, I definitely did. I read that because they don't put a space.
They don't put a space.
So I was like,
so
oh
it reads
yeah,
as
you got
noise
the ice face and noise. Noise. Alright, that's noise.
And the noise face is a penguin body with a little round blue discus head. Not even like regular penguin head.
Yeah.
It is so hilarious. It's such a hilarious Pokemon. It feels like a Pokemon where they ran out of ideas.
Oh yeah, it is wild because I think they were like, oh, we've never done a penguin Pokemon. Okay, how do we make it different? Well, it'll be ice type because penguins and cold. That makes sense. Should we give it an ice cube head? Yeah, let's fucking do it.
Yeah. And that's it. It's just a penguin with a big cube head.
Depending on the situation, they're annoying as fuck to fight.
Yeah.
I remember fighting them in battles because like the ice cube head comes on
Yep.
Or it starts that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do an attack, and the ice cube, and it doesn't take any damage, and the ice cube head just breaks, and that's it. And now that it's in its noise form, then you can hurt it. But if it's like hailing or snowing, then every other turn, the ice thing grows back.
Yep.
So you're only doing damage every other turn. It
is very annoying to fight.
Gosh.
But cute and funny.
Cute and funny. It is funny. I'll give you that. Wow, what an interesting choice. Was not expecting you to pick Ice Cube. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're on number 2. Mm-hmm. Articuno.
Yeah. Articuno's great. The episode of the show where Ash fights an Articuno with Charizard. Awesome.
I bet. It
was awesome.
I bet it was. Yeah. I never saw that. I came over, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Articuno is fucking cool. Because I just, like, you know, as a kid, simplifying everything, you're playing Red and Blue. The starters are water, fire, and grass. And then you have these 3 legendary birds. And they don't mirror that.
Ah, that is interesting.
But instead they do fire. And then there's electricity. And you're like, okay. And then there's a blue bird. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking water. Psych, it's ice. And you're like, oh, that's so interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm into it, but I'm just very interested by that. But yeah, I've always thought Articuno is very cool. It reminds me of like Birds of Paradise with its like super long tails and everything like that.
Articuno's huge too. I guess they're all huge.
They're all very big for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just very, very fun.
I love it.
And yeah, getting it was always a pain in the ass, especially in the older versions. Unless you did the rare candy cheat and you multiplied the number of Master Balls you got, and then it was obviously as soon as you see it, you're like Master Ball.
Yeah,
just instantly catch it. Otherwise, it did this thing. So like, you would see it on the map. It was like only the legendary birds, Snorlax, and Mewtwo. Mm-hmm. You would see them incredibly pixelated. Like, you could barely tell what the fuck it was. But, like, you would see a little Pokemon, and it would just be standing still. And, man, you had to be so, like, in your own head and remember before you talk to it, because the second you talk to it, you're in the battle. Mm-hmm. Save the game. Because the second that you run out of Ultra Balls or your Pokemon die, you can just shut your Game Boy off, turn it back on, and you're right there. And you can try again and again and again until you catch it. But man, forgetting to do that. I remember I did a run through one time. Forgot to do that in front of Zapdos.
Nightmare.
Lost that.
Oh my god.
That was it. It was like, and that's literally like, that's it.
Yeah.
You didn't catch it. You don't catch it. No Zapdos for you.
No Zapdos for you. Oh my god. I would implode.
It was an absolute fucking nightmare, actually. Okay.
Number 2.
My number 2, yeah.
My number 2 is Mr. Rhyme.
Ooh, interesting.
I love Mr. Rhyme. Controversial because he is a different Mr. Mime. I think his dance is so funny. I also love Mr. Mime. This is not to say that I like Mr. Rhyme better. I think I like them equal. But I love Mr. Rhyme as an ice type.
Is he ice and psychic?
He's ice and psychic.
Okay.
He's the comedian Pokemon.
Didn't know that.
Which I think is funny. He wears a bowler hat. He's a bipedal humanoid Pokemon, which... Excuse me, if I'm going to have a bipedal humanoid Pokemon around, I want it to be Mr. Rhyme.
Agreed.
This is funny. It says that for his mouth, he has a white cummerbund for its mouth. While its actual face remains almost expressionless, the features on its torso change to convey emotions.
Okay.
Which is weird.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you know what a cummerbund is?
No.
Picture tuxedo.
Uh-huh.
And that thing that goes here.
Ah.
That's a cummerbund.
Yeah.
Or cummerbund.
So I guess it's where its mouth is.
Insane.
It's weird. Mr. Rhyme is so weird, but
wow.
I love him. He's my number 2.
I
love his little dance.
Yeah. Mr. Rhyme I like. The Mr. Mime before that. Not like normal Mr. Mime.
Galarian Mr. Mime.
I do not like.
I get that.
I don't like how his face looks, and I don't like how his hair looks.
Yeah. Regular Mr. Mime is supreme, for sure.
For sure. And then Mr. Rhyme I'm okay with. It's just that one.
Yes.
Interesting.
I understand.
Well, I do like his dance. It's very funny.
It's so good.
And that was your number 2.
Josie.
I know, you're so fucking annoying. My number 1 is
Ready?
Delibird.
Wow, really?
Delibird.
Okay.
Or Delibird.
It's a clever name.
I love him. Little Santa Claus bird.
Little Santa Claus bird.
Yeah, I just like him. I think he's funny and cute, and I always want one, but their stats just suck. Like, no matter,
really?
You could train it to be level 100 and give it all of the fucking proteins or whatever. Its max will just not be as high as any of the other ice Pokemon we've mentioned. It's a shame. But I really do fucking love him. I just love his little design. I love the black around his eyes and like his little red and white. Now in the newer games when you can see the Pokemon in the wild, seeing them fly around and stuff with their little sacks, I just fucking love them.
In the show, one works for Team Rocket, and every time that the Team Rocket headquarters has to give something to Jesse and James, the Delibird shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, I love it. Yeah. And
I love that he carries stuff
also,
around. It's hilarious.
There was, in Pokemon Stadium 2, one of those minigame things is a Delibird minigame where there's like prize, like boxes or gifts on a conveyor belt, and you can pick like the bigger ones, and obviously the bigger ones are worth more points, but then they're heavier, so you move slower.
Okay.
And you have to like put it in your basket or whatever. It's just so fucking fun. Yeah.
It's a fun Pokemon.
I love it. And it, like I said, it really is like a genuine downer that it just stat-wise sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like you don't even get to use it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you're weak as fuck.
Sad.
Bums me out.
Delibird.
I know. It was on the list of like worst Pokemon.
Wow.
In terms of like stat
That sucks.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it was on that list of like, out of like all of the 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was on like the top 10 list of like worst Pokemon in terms of like stats, like weakest Pokemon. I was like, God, that sucks. But I still love it. So like if Pokemon were real, it would be sick to have it. It could deliver things like amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And I wonder if Santa Claus is like a reference point. Like it has a sack, it's red and white.
Yeah. Probably.
Ice and Santa. Christmas makes me think of cold weather.
Yeah.
Because we don't live in Australia.
Correct.
But yeah.
I love it. Cute.
What's your
number 1?
Number 1.
Smoochum.
Smoochum. Very good.
I love Smoochum so much. It's Ice and Psychic.
Yes.
It's an Ice and Psychic baby Pokemon.
Yes.
It's the pre-evolution of Jinx. It is 100% female. There are no males.
Utopia.
Absolute utopia. The description of it is so funny. It says it has a large head with blonde hair and large bangs. It daily applies tree sap to its lips to keep them moist.
Adorable.
When walking, Smoochum rocks its head back and forth. So cute. Being very conscious of its appearance, it checks its reflection when given the chance to make sure it is not dirty. It will bathe the instant it finds any dirt on its face.
I wish I had that level of commitment.
It's just so stinking cute.
That is really
It's cute anytime it pops up in the show. I love every time it makes an appearance. It's just so small and adorable. I just watched an episode recently where a group of Jinx had a smoochum and they lost the smoochum, so they went to the nearest town and started destroying the whole town to, like, say that they were mad and they wanted their smoochum, which of course was stolen by Team Rocket.
Of course. Team Rocket.
But I just think it's so cute.
Better.
It's just this little pink blob with a blonde bob. I didn't even mean to do that. And it just has this face all the time. Ooh. I love it. It's a perfect Pokemon. I would love to have one.
It is very cute.
Yeah, my number one.
And ever since they did it pretty quickly, I think. Or I don't know how quickly, but anyway, it's been a while. They changed the color scheme of Jinx. It is significantly less problematic than it was.
Yes.
You know what I'm referring to?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it used to be like
a bit
not good. It was like very like minstrelly in a bad way.
Yeah.
Anyway, because before that, I mean, I was like, oh, Jinx is sick. Because like when you're a kid, you don't know the reference points or anything.
Right.
You're just like, oh, this is a Pokemon. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then you get a little bit older and you learn the context and you're like, oh, okay, I see why this is problematic.
Yeah. For sure.
It's probably why it's important to teach history and like keep things real in schools. I saw recently this insane group called Moms for Liberty are trying to ban a book that's all about seahorses because the male is the mother.
That's so stupid.
Trans.
Oh my god. Goodbye.
And it's all drawings. There's no pictures. It's all like literally artwork. And there's a picture of two seahorses with their tails like wrapped around each other. And she was like, there's very suggestive artwork. And it was just like, dude, Republicans are nuts. Talking about like, oh, if a teacher says that the Civil War was about slavery, then a teacher could or a parent could complain about that, and that teacher could either get fired, could get censured, could have like get reprimanded in some way because that's subjective. That's not an objective fact. And I'm using air quotes for those not watching the YouTube. It's going downhill, man.
Of all the things to
Education,
worry about, it's just
Alabama
exhausting.
talking about how they're not going to teach CRT, which is critical race theory. Number one, critical race theory is a college or even an upper graduate level course. It's not ever taught in anything high school or below. So shut the fuck up. Also, Alabama, pretty sure you guys were the ones who threw such a hissy fit over integrating your schools with a little black girl, and now you're fighting to not teach kids that happened. Insane.
It is insane.
Absolutely insane. And if you're a white parent and you're worried about your kids feeling guilty because you learned that white people were once slave owners or whatever the fuck, then let me ask you this. Why are your kids identifying with the slave owners and not the white abolitionists that existed during those times? What the fuck? Mm-hmm. Like, also, that's crazy. Like, you guys are fucking insane. And you guys are supposed to be the people who talk about, like, being tough and, like, hey, it's not about your feelings. But you guys don't want to teach history because it might hurt the feelings of your snowflake fucking kid. I don't know. I got on a huge tangent just then. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Back to Pokemon. I love Pokemon so much. We're going to keep doing this Pokemon stuff. Do you know what's next? After Ground and Ice?
JK.
Excuse me.
I don't. And I love you so much, but I do really have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And then go to work. But I will think about what's next.
Fantastic. Well, folks, thanks again for listening to another episode of Hessy and Maven. Please check out our YouTube, Hessy and Maven. And we also have an Instagram, Hessy and Maven. So that's one word. And also, please, we have an email address, hessyandmaven@gmail.com. Please send over your lists. What kind of Pokemon are your favorites and everything like that. So thanks again for tuning into this episode of Hessy and Maven. Please tune in next week where we talk about something else.
Bye.